Hey guys, so this is the first video in a few videos I'm going to bring to you guys looking back on my past. So I wanted to call it Dear Little Olivia because I need to give you a background why I've come to do this. A lot of people always ask me about my past history with the horses, especially when I was like riding through Great Britain, different horses that I've had over my years. And I've never been very forthcoming in talking about them because I deep down felt like a lot of shame. That was probably when I was at my worst with my mindset, and I had built up an image in my head that it was terrible and I didn't want to show anyone. And that just was the place I was in at the time. And also the other reason is because when I was doing therapy last year, when I'd burnt out and I'd got really low and down, I revisited like how I felt about my younger self, and really realised that I didn't like her very much. And what that means is I basically didn't like myself. But I was happy with how I was now, but I kind of was like, oh, I'll just leave her in the back. And that's really not honouring myself at all and honouring the journey. So I started to look at different things. It started with my very younger self, but then I really realised that at the age of like 16 to like 23, 24, I really had a bad self-image, especially around my riding. When I used to watch my tests, all I would see was the small faults. All I would see was, I don't know, I'd like look at my chin and be like, that's, ugh. Or I'd be like, oh, your hand moved there and it wasn't very good. And I don't know, someone described it actually in the comments, because I took a clip of the horse I'm going to show you now and put it on social media last night. Someone described it, it's kind of like body dysphoria. I don't know the word, sorry. But that, for riding, and you see yourself in a completely different light because you're so hard on yourself and you're so negative. And that really was where I was at. I know I've spoken about it so much before, but I've never actually shown you guys the videos of how I was riding. And yesterday I went to my parents' house and went on the old computer that I used to do editing on or put my riding videos on. And I started looking at the videos. And what I was firstly shocked by was how good I was riding. And that is not the image that I'd kept in my head. So I'm so glad that I revisited them. And really these videos are one to show you guys. I think for you guys to understand how important mindset is, because how much it can distort reality and the truth. Because what you'll see is, yeah, of course, I made mistakes. And of course, you know, there's always room for improvement. And I had some really tough tests, but that's all part of the journey. But it didn't mean that I was a bad rider, and I really want you guys to get this, especially for my like younger, or not even for my younger audience, for anyone who feels like really down on themselves about their riding. I want you to understand that is how I felt, and don't compare my journey to yours. Don't go, well, you're riding for Great Britain, of course you're good, even if you didn't think you were, or wow, that's really incredible what you were doing. Like, I'm not doing that. It's not about that. It's not about actually what I was doing. It's about the mindset around it. That's what I want you to really focus on. And even if it's the fact like you want to just go for a hack and do it comfortably without worrying, that's your thing, and this was just mine. So what I'm trying to get at is just don't compare. But yeah, that was one of the reasons I wanted to do it, and I've forgotten the other one because I've been rambling on. The other reason as well is because I wanted to revisit it for myself, and also to show you guys my past, because it's all part of me, and I am super proud of the journey I've been on. So yeah, anyway, let's get into the first horse. The first one I've picked is a horse called Allegria, and we bought her from Holland when she was 5. So Ali was by a stallion called Scandic, She came from an auction called Equine Elite in Holland, and when I first got her, I couldn't ride one side of her because, as you can see, she has a massive trot, and that was definitely the reason I think we were like, wow, she's really cool, because it is very eye-catching. On reflection, and you'll see this later on in the video, she didn't have the best walk. She definitely didn't have the best walk, and now I know, in hindsight, I would never buy a horse that couldn't walk, because that definitely had big implications on our scoring in dressage. Also, she struggled quite a lot with canter, but anyway, she could trot. So yeah, started working with her, and the first few years were difficult. She got really nappy. So when I went home and started training with Charlotte, we really worked on just getting her around the outside of the arena, because I had been so young, she'd got away with certain things, and I didn't know what to do with her. I literally couldn't get her in one half of the arena. So Charlotte was incredible with giving me the confidence to just like get her going, to get her going places and give the horse confidence. And then from that, we went and did the Novice. We actually qualified for the nationals at Novice, which was super exciting. Really, unfortunately, I actually went wrong, to my mum's dismay. On the last centre line, I didn't walk, so I lost 2 marks, but that's just one of those things, isn't it? So anyway, I went to the nationals on her, which is really, really cool, and then we just trained her up the levels. I actually trained her 2 into 1, and throughout that, I actually got onto the world class program with her. It was for the horses, not for the rider, so it was the horse that was on the world class program, and so that was incredible. So that's basically, they're looking at horses that they think could go to the Olympics, and I think at that age it was very difficult for me. I mean, I put a lot of pressure on myself as it is, and then to say like, oh, this horse could go to the Olympics, I was like, oh crumbs, like I'm sat on gold dust here. And again, what I used to do, which was tricky, I was training with Charlotte at the time, and obviously she is one of the best riders in the world, and when she would sit on her to just help me out with something, I would watch her and I'd be like, wow, you ride her so much better than me. And then I started comparing myself as a rider to Charlotte, which is hilarious, isn't it? Because she's like the best rider in the world, and that is not a good person to compare yourself to. So I guess I just got so down on myself that I wasn't getting the marks, especially like the world class program behind you. You're like, they believe in the horse, and I'm not doing good enough on it. And I think that's where I really created this big old thing around it. So eventually she stopped being on the world class program, and that kind of took the pressure off me a little bit. But again, it kind of felt like quite a big failure. I'm really trying to reach into the back of my mind to think what actually happened, but I can't really remember. But anyway, yeah, I continued to compete her.
My dear friend, where have you been? Where have you gone? What did you win? Someone there, are you listening? Is it too late? My dear friend, we felt the sunshine, we we'd be forever young, but now I know we can't keep floating, we have to fall. This is the beat of broken hearts, is it all lost? We can't go on again, 'cause you seem like you want it bad. My head is spinning off the edge, and I'm giving in way too fast, way too fast. Caught up in the flashing light, keeps it dead in my mind, leading me on like it's whatever. We could go on, but we should know better. We can't go on again, 'cause you seem like you want it bad. My head is spinning off the edge, and I'm giving in way too fast, way too fast. We can't go on again, 'cause you seem like you want it bad. My head is spinning off the edge, and I'm giving in way too fast, way too fast.
She didn't do badly. We got like 67s at like Premier Leagues and stuff, but I was annoyed that I wasn't winning, that I couldn't kind of get the best out of her again, because people had really thought that she was incredible, until I started getting like little bits of different advice and going like, she is an incredible trotter, but she's not got the walk, and that's not your fault. And that kind of took a bit of pressure off me, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then, you know, with the canter, she struggled. And a lot of people have asked me, like, what happened to her? Like, why did your journey end? And so basically, let me reach the back of my head with what happened. Yeah, so basically we decided that she wasn't going to make Grand Prix for different reasons. One, I didn't have much experience, so training was trickier for me. Obviously getting to Grand Prix, you make a lot of mistakes on your first Grand Prix horse. And I don't think if you looked at her physically, she struggled. Although she had this big trot, she always, I felt, had this underlying issue that no one ever really got to the bottom of, which was tough, but it's just one of those things, isn't it? And we had to work a lot with a physio. I had to even try and ride her bareback because when we put her saddle on, she felt a little bit squiffy. Anyway, we got over that. And she was going well, but still I knew that she was not going to get to Grand Prix. So we made the decision to put her on the market to sell her, which was a really tough choice. Again, you feel like you're letting the horse down. You feel like people are going, well, she couldn't make it on that horse. But anyway, I knew that she could go and give a junior or a young rider an amazing opportunity. She was really, really good, really well behaved. She stopped all the napping and stuff. We'd come over that. But unfortunately, when she got vetted, because someone wanted her, she failed the vetting, which was, I mean, it's fine, isn't it? It's just one of those things that can happen. And like I said, I think we knew there was something underlying. So when we were coming into the vetting, we were like, we'll see how it goes. If she passes, great. If she doesn't, then that's just one of those things, isn't it? And so she didn't pass the vetting, and so Mum actually started riding her and had a whale of a time on her. Absolutely loved riding her. So Mum was riding her and she was really enjoying her, but there was still definitely some underlying stuff going on, and it got a little bit worse. And so we spoke to the vets, and we had to make the really tough choice to actually put her down for different health reasons, which was so tough. I think as a horse owner, it's really hard, isn't it, to make that choice. But we always try and keep the horse's best interest in mind and not stay selfish with it and not go, I want this horse to stay with me, even if it's suffering, because I don't want to let go of it. And I think that is extremely, extremely hard to do. But yeah, that's what we ended up doing. So looking back now, I just have so much gratitude for that little mare. And my heart slightly bleeds at how hard I was on myself. And then I think, how did she feel about that? Because when you're hard on yourself, you can never be like really rewarding to the horses. And that is originally why I started changing my mindset around, because I knew that it was having an effect on my horses. And that was the real kicker for me to change things around. But anyway, that's the first horse from my past. So I'd love to hear what you guys think of this. I'd love to hear if you guys enjoy these videos, because I'll make more. So we've got Wish to come up, who was the horse that I rode for Great Britain on. Also, I'll try and find one of Mum's horse, Matt, because yeah, Mum used to compete. I've even got her doing it into two. I've got baby Wilfred, we've got Dexter, we got loads. So yeah, let me know if you've enjoyed this, guys. Make sure to comment below. Tag a friend if you think they're struggling with the same thing, because it's really important that we talk about this stuff. And I will see you for the next one.